Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, November 29th, 2025, back in Ville, Platte to start day number 23. Today is going to be a little bit longer of a hike than what we've done the last several days. We're going to be doing just shy of 20 miles. It's going to be a series of country roads that we're going to be taking today, heading out of Ville, Platte, and then eventually we're going to be making our way through the small community of Plaisance, and then eventually getting to the town of Washington. So we're about to walk back to the trail, reconnect from last time, and I'll show you where we officially start today's hike. Back on the trail now. This is where we came in on day 22. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn right. This is Lithcote Road, and we're gonna be following this for a little over a mile. We're now about 1.3 in, and we're going to turn left here onto Gabrielle Road. Just 3 miles into, a little under 3 miles into today's hike, we're getting off of Gabrielle Road, and we're now turning right onto Belaire Cove Road, and we're going to be following this now for a little under 7 miles. About 5 miles into today's hike, just getting out of Belaire Cove, and this is the Sacred Heart Chapel Catholic Church, and it's a good spot to take a break straight back, and I'll see if I can zoom in. Back there is a pavilion and a restaurant. So anyways, we're getting back here on Belaire Cove Road. We're now a little under 9 miles into today's hike. We're getting off of Big Joe Road, which was Belaire Cove. It changed into Big Joe when we got into St. Landry. So now what we're doing is we're taking a left on the Louisiana Highway 103, and then we're gonna follow this for a little over a mile. Now about 9.5 miles into today's hike. We're getting off of Highway 103, which is also Prairie Ronde Highway. And straight ahead here is Mulberry Road. We're gonna follow that for a little under a mile. Just come to the end of Mulberry. Mulberry continues in this direction. It didn't have a sign for it, but what we're doing is we're turning onto this gravel road here to the left. Sandy road. We're going to follow this for about half a mile. We're now 11 miles in. We're going to turn right here onto Edgewood Road. We're going to follow this for about another half mile. As you can see, there's no signs. Once you get out of the woods right here, and then you come up to this open field with the solar farm, make a right. About 11 and a half miles into today's hike, you can see the sign on the ground. We're at the corner of Edgewood and Dupree Road. And what we're going to do now is we're going to turn left on the Dupree. We're going to follow this a little over a mile, and it's going to get us to US Highway 167. All right, well, we're about 12 and a half miles into today's hike. We are now turning onto US Highway 167. We're going to be approaching the community of Plaisance here in a few minutes, and we're going to be following along the sideway for a little under a mile. We're now 13 and a half miles in. It's where we came in. This is Quib's country store, and they have some hot food. They have hamburgers, po' boys, a lot of stuff. If you want to sit down and eat, it's a good place. Or you can call in advance to pick it up. But what we're going to do is we're going to get back on 167 for maybe 1/10 of a mile, and I'll show you where we're going to turn off. Just a short distance down from where we came, you can see there's Quib's. We're turning left on the Bell Ridge, and we're going to follow this now for a little over 1 mile. We're now about 15 miles into today's hike. We're coming up to the end of Bell Ridge, and we're going to turn right here onto Bernard. You can't miss it. There's the sign right there, but the pavement ends. So we're going to turn on Bernard. We're going to follow this now for about half a mile. We're about 15 and a half miles in today's hike. We're at the intersection of Bernard and Prayer House Road. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn left on the Prayer House, and we're going to have some gravel for a little bit here. About 16 and a half miles into today's hike, you can see we're now up to the intersection of Prayer House Road and White Oak Road. We're going to follow White Oak Road for about 1.5 miles. All right, we're now up to Highway 103. We're a little over 18 miles in. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn right. And we're only about 1 mile outside of Washington. And we've come to the end of day 23. It was a little under 19 and a half miles. There's a convenience store right here. And you can see we're up to Louisiana Highway 10 and 182. So the official route continues this way. We used to have a route going this way, but we've taken that off the map. If you go a little ways further, on the left is a Family Dollar, and right after that, that's the Ponderosa RV Park. You'll see it on the video for day 24. It's on the left, right before you get to I-49. In the meantime, I'm gonna head back to our vehicles, and I'll give you my thoughts on day 23. So closing out day number 23, it was a longer day than what we've had in a while, but it went a little faster than I thought. I think just because we had so many different turns and roads that we went on, it seemed to kind of keep it fresh and moving along. The road walking out of Ville, Platte really wasn't bad at all. When we got on Belaire Cove Road, there was a little bit of traffic here and there, but it really wasn't that busy. And then of course, as we got closer to 167, you saw that we ended up hitting some gravel, which was a nice break from the asphalt. And we got a lot more of it once we got into Plaisance. And really, I feel like the stretch from Highway 167 to Highway 103 was the highlight. Not only did we have gravel most of the way, but also too, there was some elevation changes. I didn't talk about it when I started South Louisiana back on day number 21, but when you're getting close to Washington, you hit the Tesh Ridge. It's a land formation that separates the Cajun Prairie from the Mississippi Delta region, which is to the east. So you have that incline, and it was beautiful out there, not only with the change in elevation, but you could see it with the trees. So my suggestion is when you get to Washington, you can decide what you want to do. Ponderosa RV Park is a little further down on 103, and it is 28 bucks a night. That's what the rate was, at least this summer. There are no restrooms at this time, but I did notice there's new management, so they might be making some changes. I didn't point this out too, but if you want to spend extra money on yourself, at the intersection there, if you turn right and go back up Highway 182, there is a hotel clause, and it's a little under 200 bucks a night, but I'm sure it's really nice. So if you really want to get a nice experience in Washington, you can do that. There are a couple of places to eat, but you want to make sure that you try to take advantage of most of that during the day, because most of that is closed in the evening. If you don't want to take either option for lodging, my suggestion would be just go ahead and get transportation into Opelousas. It's only a few miles south of Washington. They have plenty of hotels along Interstate 49, places to eat. There's a Walmart, a few other stores. So you have plenty of options if you want to do all that before you get back on trail. Now, I completed day 24 back in January, which is the Bayou route. At the time, it was more of an alternate, but it's now the official route of the Bayou State Trail. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I suggest you go check it out. And that means that when I get back on trail, I'm gonna jump to day 25 and begin the Atchafalaya Basin section. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon on the Bayou State Trail.